Another week of Poke Nation. Basketball season's here. You got baseball. You got everything going on.
It's a lot going
you
on.
Even got a strange win in football.
And we have you with a new shirt that has a
it's
collar.
Not a new shirt.
That has a collar that's actually outside of the collar of the jacket. This is a historic day today. A historic show.
It's not a new shirt.
Poke Nation, this is a historic show today.
It's not a new shirt. It's just the weather's changed. I went with a long sleeve. That's really all it is.
Okay.
I wanted to get to something that I saw over the weekend. You seem to really have a good time at your concert the other night.
It's great. Yeah.
You seem to like that band.
I love that band.
L.A. rocks.
L.A. rocks, and it's a lot of the music I grew up with and stuff like that. So they have a great following. I thought, obviously, for
all that happened.
All that happened, which I know we'll get into, to still have people out there tailgating, to still have people come out on a Friday night, it was a great time.
You just seem to be in the moment, we'll say. In the moment.
Why not? For sure.
And you got me to stay for all of 18 minutes.
I was going to say, I couldn't even believe you were there. But I saw you singing a couple songs. So.
I do not sing any songs.
Oh, yeah, you were lip singing some songs.
That can't. I didn't even know the songs.
Oh, my gosh. That's right, because it's not Frank Sinatra, right?
It's not AM radio. I grew up and I like AM radio. I don't know why people. I've been listening to talk radio all my life. I'm not a music guy. Okay. I don't even have anybody on my phone. I have nobody.
Oh, I have nothing for that.
Let's talk about the weirdness of the weekend, though.
Okay.
Thursday last week, you find out you're not playing.
Yes.
Roughly 2:30, 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's homecoming.
Oh, yes. I was very, very, very disappointed in the decision. I respect it. It was their call. It was Northwestern State's administration's call. But personally, I think it was the wrong thing. I think that, I'm sure there's some kids on that team that were really having a hard time dealing with it. But I also think there's a lot of kids on that team that, from a mental health standpoint, would probably be better off playing.
Well, now what do they got? You basically ended their season. Some of them seniors will never play again.
Right.
Never got a senior day. Mm-hmm. You're taking an awful lot. And that's what, the quarterback went out and tweeted and then did some podcasts basically saying there was no player vote, that everybody he's talked to wanted to play. So that's a mess up there.
Yeah, it's a mess. And, I feel for the community and obviously the administration. I like Kevin and Dr. Jones a lot. But for us, I thought it was just really, really disappointing. You have
it's so late in the week. I mean, you have no options at that point.
For sure. Like if I would have gotten that call Monday, I'm very confident that I could have found somebody in this area, maybe not even Division I, but someone to play on our homecoming game. But when you find out Thursday at 2:30, you can't even get through.
No, if anybody's got a bye week, they sent their kids home.
That's right. There's no way you can get that done.
And you had no inkling going in.
I did not,
because they did play a game afterwards.
And that's the frustrating part. Like they played a game, and they played a game a Thursday.
Yeah.
So there's a Friday, Saturday. So, they've had an entire week
10 days
since the game, and
to make a decision.
And so again, I was very disappointed. I was upset, if you will, and expressed my feelings with the conference. But I also have, I'm not there, so I don't know what's really going on. I don't know, but I do know just from my own coaching experience that. I'm sure that there were some kids that are having a really hard time, and you have to protect that. But I also think there's some kids that probably just wanted to play football because that would help them mentally more. But again, I'm not there, so it's hard for me to really talk about it.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, especially when you consider all the ramifications. We've seen this is a program killer for some places.
It obviously.
Does the conference, you fear that for the conference?
I do. That's a big decision. It's a really big decision to cancel, to fire a coach and cancel the last 3 games of a season. So again, I have to respect that decision because I know that it couldn't have been easy, and there's probably a lot up there that we don't know.
Let's talk about the baseball game coming up. 'Cause we've got Justin Hill as our guest.
Yep.
Are you going to go to the baseball game? I mean, because you're not a huge baseball guy.
Well, because of the suspension with Coach Wade, each administrator is going to be take turns with traveling with basketball. So I'm taking the first game. So I'm leaving that day.
So we thought you might throw out the first pitch.
No, but it's sold out. I'll tell you that it's sold out, and
I've never heard of that before.
It'll be standing room only. It'd be unbelievable.
I think my fall games in college actually drew like not even my parents. Didn't even drive down for them.
It'll be great, and I'm excited to have Coach on in the next couple segments. He is a motto of consistency. He's done an unbelievable job here, and I'm excited to. Obviously bringing the Tigers into town is a big deal, but I'm excited for our team and for our community to be able to have this. It's not every day you get the national champs on your field and on your campus, and it's a huge opportunity and one I know that they're excited for.
Justin Hill will be our guest right after this on Poke Nation.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us.
Get it done! Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Go. Everywhere I go.
When you're knocked down, sometimes it might take a little longer to get back up again. But even still, know that you will. To the problem solvers, those who knocked the dust off and started over, we're glad you're still here. We're thankful we're all still here. Since 1907, we've been your Louisiana bank, your community bank. And together, we're getting back closer to normal every day. It's our heritage. It's who we are. And that's what makes Evangeline, well, Evangeline.
At Lakeside Bank, we specialize in stress-free banking services. Now you can stress less with our Great Escape Spa giveaway. One winner a month can unwind with a relaxing spa package from Scarborough's Salon and Day Spa. Then, in December, we'll give away a luxurious relaxation trip for two to Miraval Resort in Arizona. Now that's stress-free. Register today at any Lakeside banking location. Stress less at Lakeside Bank.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It's great to have Coach Hill back. Welcome, my friend.
Good to be here.
Okay, so we got a little game at the end of this week. We're only going to play the national champs.
Yeah.
They're coming in. How honestly, though, what a great experience and what a great opportunity. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I appreciate Coach Johnson being willing to make the trip over.
Sure.
And obviously our community, did what they did. They sold the thing out for an exhibition, you know. And so, man, it's going to be a great opportunity for, our program, our team, the whole community and everything. So we're excited about it. So looking forward to Sunday.
So what is, everyone talks about, well, hey, baseball's in the spring, et cetera, but there's like every sport, there's a whole off season, right? So in the fall, what do you try to get out of the fall? What is your goals for, obviously this fall, and then what are you going to try to really get out of this game?
Yeah, I mean, having the fall game at the end of your team session is probably the biggest part of it. But you just want to get to know your team because even though you got guys, half your team back from last year, they're different, and you've got new guys and integrating them.
Right.
You're just trying to get a good feel of who your team is, and I think we're getting better at that. But kind of getting a good idea of that. But hopefully we'll get healthy and put a good show on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Bringing LSU here, to me, says a lot about your program that they respect it enough to where they're going to kind of finish their fall out with you as well. What do you think it means to you guys?
Well, I mean, it's going to be exciting. There's no getting around the energy. You can't fake energy like this. You can't create this on your own with a fall game or a World Series or whatever you want to do. This is going to be genuine, real energy, and this is the same kind of energy you're going to play with when you're playing for something late in the season. So it'll get us a chance to get a good look at our team, and we're just excited. And I'm excited to see how the guys, how they perform, kind of under that stress.
And obviously it means they're going to use it as kind of a recruiting tool. You said that a little bit yesterday when I talked to you about recruiting the area, getting their name out there. Obviously it helps them a bit because they get to be seen by kids. What does it do for you, though, as an opportunity to say, hey, here's what we play in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned it with Coach Johnson, and everything he does is calculated. And I think most good coaches you have, from recruiting. But, yeah, I mean, there's no pep talk this week. I mean, everybody's excited. All the guys that have to go to the training room, it's amazing how many guys get healed this week. Like it's divine when it happens. So it's good. It's good for all involved.
So, Coach, when talk about the fall, obviously, this is a huge game. This is, just a great opportunity to end it. But talk about the fall. Like, what have you seen? What have you worked on? What do you really try to accomplish during the fall? Like Polk Nation, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't really even know that, you're still getting the bats out and all that stuff in the fall.
Yeah, other than the people tailgating for football, they know the balls are flying over the fence. I think that's the main thing they know about it. But it's just getting an identity of the team. You obviously want to put in your system and everything that you do, but you got to make sure you mold your system around the players that you got, because it's really all comes back to being about the players and getting to know them and and become, instead of being 40 individuals, becoming one team. And so it's just a step in the right direction in doing that. So I think we've got a good idea of who our guys are and how guys are going to kind of fall into it. But some guys are probably not going to be super happy with their current position, where they at. So they get a chance during that off season to hopefully put themselves in a position to maybe start in the spring.
I think that one thing that I've always admired about you as a coach and why I think that you've been so successful is really a statement that you just made, is how you've always been able to adapt, if you will, to the personnel that you've had and play to the strengths of that team. Number one, where did you develop that philosophy? And number two, what do you think are the strengths? Obviously it's a long year before we start playing, but going out, by being in the fall, what do you think the strengths are of this team?
Yeah, I mean, I had some good coaches, great mentors. I mean, I think there was a big thing, and the driving force is we want to win, right? So
no doubt about it.
If you want to win, you've got to put your kids in the best possible situation. Right. So, not worrying about what the stats are. I'd love to. Win every game 10-0, but if you win 10-9, you win 10-9, you win 1-0. Not getting wrapped up in the stats, and but as far as where our team's at, I think we've got some. I think we're starting to click a little bit offensively and starting to get a little bit of an identity offensively. Pitching wise, I think we got some guys. It's just we're not going to know who's what until we got another team with a different jersey on.
Yeah. What are people going to see? Because is it an 18 inning? Are you planning on 18 innings? Is there? How much will be situational? How much will be actual game?
Yeah, I mean, so it'll be, we're going to play 10 innings, take a 30-minute break, play another 8 innings, and we'll each play our own game in what we do. So we're not going to give signals. I don't know if Coach Johnson's going to give signals, and everything that we do is going to be situational, and there's no box score or anything like that. So if we get a guy on there, we want to see, get it. Let's say there's a guy that we want to maybe use as a runner. We may put him in to run in that situation. So there's a couple of different things that we can do. Move the lineup around, do a few things. So keep it real simple.
Bet certain guys in certain situations.
Yeah, like every time I want my best hitter to come up, so who scores many runs. So yeah, kind of banana ball. Yeah,
there you go. When we come back, we'll talk more with Justin Hill about this week's game and the fall after this on Polk Nation.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Go. Everywhere I go.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Greg Brooks,
Kyron Lacey. Whether on the field, in the community, or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team, make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
We're back with Justin Hill talking fall ball LSU this Sunday at Joe Miller Ballpark starting at noon, right?
That's noon, yeah.
Right when the Bears kick off with the Saints, by the way.
Man.
So I'll have a TV on.
There'll be tens of people watching that.
I'll be one of them, though. I will be one of them. Okay, kind of an interesting thing is, are you going to script the innings and that for pitchers? Is that kind of how you do it?
I think that'll be what our goal is we'll put out what we may feel like is close to our lineup and the arms that we feel like are prepared to go that, and then the second half of the day will probably be what we'd use off our bench a little bit. So 8 innings is a little much for one guy, so but we'll see kind of how it goes.
When you come back in the fall, how many of your kids played in the summer, and how much are you picking up? How much are you worried about overusing arms, things like that?
Man, that's the hardest part right now. Is because you think how much a guy's thrown and what kind of workouts they've been doing. So everybody's kind of all over the map, especially guys that you sign late that you're kind of getting out of the portal because the summer ball has become a really important recruiting opportunity for them now. So they're all over the map, and so we try to take the first 4 to 6 weeks to try to get everybody about at the same point. So it's about time to shut down for a few of the guys, but I'm sure they'll muster up enough for this week. So,
Coach, let's talk about what. Obviously, the game continues to change, right? Just like football's changed and basketball, et cetera. Where is the game at now? From what has changed in the last 5 years, do you think, and where do you think the game is going?
Yeah, I mean, just on the field, you've obviously seen the pitch clock, in professional baseball, college baseball's implemented it first. So you saw games decrease 20, 30 minutes, which I think is great for fan engagement. Sure. So that part's good. As far as just how you're putting a roster together, it changing from 35 players to 40 players has been different. So if you think about, 12 SEC teams taking those 5, that's 60 extra players. Right. It trickles down the whole way. For sure. And so I think that's where the challenges are. But I think that there's freedom of movement. From player-wise, some of those things are good, but some of those things have been certainly abused.
Right. Yeah. Talk about recruiting now in the portal. Like I said earlier in our last segment, you've always figured out a way to be really competitive and have unbelievable success here. More success than anyone else has ever had here. So what is, when you look at the recruiting today, what is your philosophy in regards to high school kids, JUCO kids, portal, et cetera? Is there a percentage? Do you care? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, pre-COVID, you wanted to have balance. You wanted to have young guys, and you wanted to bring in impact junior college. And the part that hasn't changed is whoever you're bringing in, can they contribute to a win in one way, shape, or form? That's the biggest thing. Can they run off the bench? Can they play great defense? Right. Are they a left-handed bat? Or can they start right away? There's freshman All-Americans for a reason. Right. That part hasn't changed, but what you go get and what's available is out there is a little bit different right now. out. But look, it all goes back to, I mean, it's not one single thing, but obviously great coaches. I mean, Coach Rickelson, going out and recruiting and what he's done, and same thing for, and then word of mouth from our players. I mean, so word gets out. Everybody knows how you treat your players and everything that you do. So hopefully, your reputation, success, and things that you have, hopefully those take you a little ways as well.
With the shrinking of the minor league system and NIL, kids are staying longer. Are you seeing better baseball in college?
I think you can. I think you're probably seeing still a little bit more of a divide than you had from the, I don't want to just say Power Five, but people have heavily invested in it, whether it be NIL money or facilities or whatever it is. I mean, I think there's a deeper gap between the haves and have-nots, even within the Power Five in their league. So the people that make those investments, I mean, you can see those things pay off. And yeah, I think it's a different level, but it's a different level in the fact that it's probably like high AA, and sometimes you're playing these guys. And so I think you'll see some guys that'll be on our field on Sunday that'll, could certainly be in the minor leagues as well.
And you're also going to, because you played LSU last year, and now you're seeing them, as some of their kids are already ready to be talked about for the major leagues next year.
Yeah, they had a special group last year. Man, I mean, I remember rolling up in there. It was this time last year, and the first pitch that Paul Skeens throws is 101 miles an hour, and you're like, I said, hey guys, I'm sorry, we don't have any pitching machines that throw that hard, so we weren't exactly ready, so we had to kind of learn on the fly a little bit.
Coach, I think one of the things too, and I know we talked about, I've talked about your program a lot, but you are a model of consistency. Talk about the relationship you have with your players. All of players that, since I've been here, they all, to a man, have loved playing for you. They've all spoken so highly about the relationships that they have with you. Talk about the process that you go through to develop those relationships with your players.
Well, I think it just starts with, do you care about them? Because they don't really care what you know until they know that you care, and and they can see through it. They've lived those lives a little bit, and they know when you're real, and it's day to day. And I think there has to be a difference in, hey, what the person that's on the that who's the player, but what's the person like, and realize that person's going to be a man, is going to be a dad, husband, be all those things. A lot longer is going to be a ball player, right. And I think you got to address that person first.
So this Sunday, the defending national champs come to town in a sold-out fall game. I don't think I've ever even heard that before. A sold-out fall game here at Joe Miller Ballpark. Game time is noon. You're gonna have expect people at batting practice.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some people at batting practice. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll see how McNeese does. Thanks for joining us, Coach. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts on Polk Nation.
Hey, she's on her way up.
Hey, G, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
From the campus of McNeese, you're watching CBS Lake Charles. Never gonna happen.
We're back, Polk Nation. Justin Hill has a big game this week.
Yep.
Other big games coming up. You got a big weekend.
Got a really big weekend.
Actually, a big next week too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're starting to get really busy. Obviously, you getting out of the fall sports. I think that one thing I want to talk about is I think Drew. They finished third in soccer.
Yeah.
And they're going to play their conference tournament this week at Corpus Christi. I'm really excited about what Drew's done with that team, and
he's changed the whole team around and how they play.
And like I've said all along, I think that our goal should be to finish in the top 3 of every sport. And for Drew to be able to do that, I'm excited for him and his program. Obviously, volleyball. We're fighting for the top 3 spot in volleyball as well. And look, the elephant in the room is football. We had to figure out that somehow, some way, we got to figure that thing out. But We're leading into basketball. Basketball starts Monday. The men go to Virginia Commonwealth, and then women open up with the kids game at 11 o'clock against Dillard.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese on steroids will be here. Boy, that's always...
It'll be about 3,500 kids in here. It'll be packed. It'll be awesome.
It'll be noisy.
And then obviously on Sunday we have LSU and with our fall game.
The only time I had a bigger headache than last year after all the screaming was like a weekend NASCAR. What I'd have to cover, just the noise.
We can put you in here and you can watch the game from here if you want.
No, my grandson's going to be here, so he wants to come out and sit next to me.
Awesome.
Is that really?
That's great. That's awesome.
I want to ask you this weird question as an administrator. What would you do if you were Michigan? All the NCAA stuff, all the sign stealing. There's sign stealing on everything. Is there really no sign stealing? You don't think Ohio State's stealing signs?
As a former coach, right?
Yeah.
As a former coach that's now an AD, you're always trying to find an advantage, right? You're always trying to find an advantage. And again, I don't know the whole story, but I would be shocked if there aren't other football programs that are somehow trying to steal signs or what have you at the game or during the game, et cetera. I mean, everyone's trying to figure out what the next play is to have an advantage. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out, though.
In baseball, we used to have a guy at the bend of the bench who his job was to steal signs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's all part of the game.
It's part of the game. That's right.
So, and to me, now they're saying it was done by iPhones and people. I don't know. It seems like an awful lot of basketball. You're going to be in the basketball season now.
Yep.
It's Will Wade's world now, or you guys call him Willie the Kid.
Right.
It's a way to slide under the NCAA radar there, guys. Willie the Kid and the Bayou Bandits.
Okay.
Let's not bring any attention to the program and anything.
Right.
But this is an exciting time for this group because
it is.
We've never seen. I mean, you've got excitement in fall baseball. You've got excitement in basketball like we've never had before.
For sure. And I think that, having the tournament here, obviously having Coach Wade here,
Yeah.
I mean, our ticket sales are the highest they've ever been. The demand, I think, it will be higher than it's ever been. And, I think that it's an exciting time. Obviously, I like our team a lot. We've had 2 scrimmages we really, that we've played well in. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited about the group. I really like what he does from a basketball standpoint, what he does defensively and offensively. I like the personnel, and so I think it's going to be a great year.
Do you like the fact that he opens up practice to fans?
I do. He and
Could
I.
you do that?
I did. He and I are very similar in the sense that, at the end of the day, we talked about like stealing signs, right? Like everyone's going to get your calls at some point.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have film. Let's just bring the people in if they want to come watch practice or whatever. So be it. And if the team knows what we're doing, so be it. They still have to stop it.
Yeah. That's what Deion Sanders said. He said, "What's the big deal?"
Yeah, that's always been my philosophy. I think that everyone's different, but I respect that a lot about Coach. And the one thing about, Coach Hill's done a great job with this too in the community. I think Will Wade has come in here and really opened his arms and embraced Southwest Louisiana, embraced Lake Charles, and I think that obviously this community has embraced him as well.
Yeah, no, he's been a big hit too. Mm-hmm. That's a bigger thing. Is people say, well, he's our rebel now. He's kind of our guy. Who cares what he did before? Yeah. He's our guy.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about all that stuff, but I mean, look, it's I'm excited that he's here. I think we're going to have a great run, and this is going to be an exciting year. There's no doubt about it.
He promises 23 plus 1 wins.
He did.
23 plus 1 wins.
He is not shy.
And so you came down from the concert. You're okay?
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, LA. But I'll tell you what.
You were singing. I saw you singing with the songs.
Yeah, I mean, look, my son, because my son was with me too.
Yes.
You saw him, and so that we listened to that music a lot in the car. So he's singing along too. It was pretty cool.
If only ABBA were playing, I'd get excited. If only ABBA were playing. We'll see who Coach listens to next week and how the McNeese does starting basketball season right here on Poke Nation.